What you been up to?
Just playing, buddy.
Playing?
Playing with them boys mainly.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, doing a little bit of dadding it.
Yeah. They every night's the 10th round of the NFR for them. But Styles. I mean, every night they're either riding each other or on the trampoline riding.
Yeah.
Uncle Monk.
Yeah.
And anyhow, it's been fun.
How old are they?
They're 5 and 4, so they just both started school. Or Waylon was in school last year, but kindergarten and pre-K. So anyhow, lose them for a few days, but when they in school, they're helping.
Right.
Yeah.
You been day working some?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's it. Just day working and riding a few colts. Try to keep around just no more than 2 or 3 at a time, just because day working still, and I'll end up having them 3 months if just because you get lined up in day work and stuff. And anyhow,
man, what I think most interested in, I think, I see you random times and early on rodeoing. I'd see you at rodeos and then Stasis schools, and then got to seeing you day working and hearing bits and pieces of your story. What would be cool for me, and I think maybe a lot of people listening, is to just hear the Tom McFarland story, like where you grew up, how you got into rodeo. Your first year of rodeo is super intriguing, and then just your story of being a rodeo cowboy, but also a cowboy.
Yes, sir. Well, it just as far as that goes, I don't really consider myself one. Maybe one of these days I will be, but I've always known as far as I can remember, that I loved being around horses. And anyhow, I'm not gonna say I'm crazy, but some will argue it and say I am. But anyhow, a horse dang sure keeps me right. As far as whether it's a bronc or a good riding horse as there is, brings me back to where I think I need to be. Especially making any decisions or anything like that. Boy, if I don't get on a horse for a couple of days, I start thinking weird things,
Really?
Yeah. I don't know anyhow, it's just always been that way.
Yeah.
Anyhow, but.
Did you grow up around them?
So yeah, I grew up on a ranch. We lived a couple different places. Dad just punched cows. And we lived in Chino Valley, Arizona, when I was born in Prescott. And anyhow, Dad, he did some artwork when I was real little. He got busted up. A horse fell with him and broke his spleen or busted his pelvis, and anyhow, all kinds of stuff. They took his spleen out and yada yada. He about killed him, but while he was laid up, somebody gave him some clay. I think it was Ed Asher's. But anyhow, so he started doing sculptures, bronzes or whatever. And for about 10 years, he dang sure did. He did a lot of artwork and day worked, and then we moved to Ash Creek Ranch, which is outside of Dewey, Arizona, and that's where I fell in love with being a cowboy. Dad, he just pretty much turned me loose as far as packing salt and everything. And Bob Burris, he was a ranch manager. He ran a couple ranches around there, but anyhow, he let me start the colts, thank goodness, and let me ruin a lot. I'm sure would have been good horses.
Yeah.
But anyhow, there's always about 10 head of colts that needed started every year. And I just start one at a time. I started when I was about, 11. I was 11, my first set. Helped Dad when I was 10, start all them colts. And then at 11, he just turned around and walked away and let me start one at a time, after school or sometimes before school, depending on how things worked. But, so luckily I like I say, just got to get on tons of horses and like I say, fell in love with it. Played all the time as my whole life being a cowboy, and it's got to stay that way, thank goodness.
What was that country like riding where you were?
It was kind of right between 2 bigger mountain ranges for Arizona, between the Bradshaws and, drawing a blank, but, anyhow, 2 mountain ranges, and I tell you what, it was dry forever. All the other ranches around there, it just was. It was a dry little place. It wasn't huge by no means. 20 sections, I think, maybe. I might not even been that big, but anyhow, it was dang sure. It was on a savory system too, which in that part of the world, boy, it just don't work. Them cows need to be able to go where it rains here and there, even if they're spotty little showers. And, you got them held off a good feed. And, that rotation deal just over there just didn't work on that ranch. But anyhow, so we were constantly moving cows, which, heck, as a kid, I loved it. But anyways, got married when I was 16, I guess, 16, 17. I guess I was 16 when I got married. And anyhow.
Dang, I didn't even know you could get married at 16.
Well, I had to go to a judge and they're in Prescott, and he had to approve it or whatever. And anyhow, he did. He signed off on it, and we got hitched. And anyhow, went to work for Milo DeWitt. There, first I went to work at Babbitt's. We called him Uncle Vic, Hal, and I'd already worked 3 wagons there as a kid, just spring wagons. And anyhow, he gave me a job. He didn't have any camps open, but the wagon had just pulled out. And once found out she was bred, we got married within like a week. it was right at a week, so we didn't mess around. And so he just like I said, the wagon had just pulled out, so joined up with the wagon the next day, like got married, and then dropped her off at headquarters and went to the Cataract Plains and was gone for 3 weeks. But anyhow, punched cows, loved it. And then I went to work for Milo DeWitt and at Bozarth camp. And anyhow, worked for him for just short of a year. And he actually, he's Dangshire. One of the reasons I rodeoed for Dangshire, as a kid, my brother, he loved it, ate it up. And I Dangshire junior rodeo, we junior rodeo and whatnot. But hell, I was just as happy, or if not more happy, punching cows or packing salt or getting myself, just getting in wrecks. And, I had no desire at all to rodeo. Of course, watching 8 seconds. I mean, I loved rodeo. I mean, and I loved riding like steers. I tell you what, me and my brother, we was all in on that. We took that serious as I've ever probably taken anything. Just because my brother always had me lined out. He was that way. But do you get to meet Raleigh?
I don't remember.
Boy, I think I'm not sure what his last few years of rodeoing, but it was a while back when he was rodeoing hard, at least. But anyhow, he always was my number one motivator, whether it was for fist fighting or rodeo, no matter what. Boy, if I could hear Raleigh's voice, I feel like I'd take on the world when he was talking. So
he was older.
Yes, sir. Yeah, he was 3 years older than me, but like I say,
that's a neat feeling.
Yeah, but I mean, people were raised a lot more farther out, but either way, we was far enough out that it was just me and him as far as, as hanging out with kids and stuff besides junior rodeos. And we did go to school, whatnot, but boy, it was a fist fight to get me to school. I hated school as a kid.
What events did y'all do in junior rodeos? Let me fix you.
Everything we could. Sorry, buddy.
No, you're good. It's just a little.
Everything but ride bulls. Mom, which hell, I would have probably done it. I don't know, but I didn't put up a fight for it. But my brother, he damn sure did. He wanted to ride bulls. And anyhow, my mom's dad was killed at Prescott when she was just a little kid. She was 5, I guess. Riding bull stepped on him. And
really?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah, he rode bareback horse that day and then got killed in the bull riding that night. Or I believe is how it went. But might have been the same perf. I don't know. Yeah. Well. Yeah, yes, sir. That's
at
what.
Prescott?
Yes, sir.
Prescott,
the
rodeo?
My grandma just stayed there for quite a while. Like they weren't living there when she was there when he got killed. Of course, like I say, my mom was there and everything. And I believe they were living up at Page. Had been working on the dam. My grandpa, as for a living. I mean, he wasn't full time rodeoing. And anyhow, they went to Prescott for the weekend for the 4th of July for the rodeo, and he got killed there. So she lived there for a long time. I can't tell you. I don't know.
I mean, a long time ago.
Yeah. Like I say, my mom was 5, so I don't know how old she is, but
yeah, dang. I mean,
yeah,
like probably the 70s or something like that. Just guessing.
I think even before that, like I got pictures of that day of him on a bareback horse. It looks like, I mean, it's the 60s
really?
Style, and
like
I mean,
old school.
Yeah, kind of like them pictures right out there.
Yes, sir. The Tucson ones.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they weren't wearing vests. It'd be decades before they started wearing those, but Dang.
Yeah, he had the gate didn't open all the way. It was the first where they first roll in, the old chutes there at Prescott, I guess. And anyhow, that one chute hardly ever got used, and for some reason Otis's bull was in there, and they went ahead and went to him right there. And I guess the fella right before or two before he got hurt, and they hauled him out in an ambulance. Well, they just kept rolling with the rodeo, and anyhow, Otis come out of that first chute or whatever, and that gate only didn't even come 90 degrees. It just about like 30 degrees. And that bull just turned back right there in the chute and bucked him off down right in the chute and stepped on him. And I don't know whether it was a rib that went through his heart or his lung or whatever, but they threw him in the back of a yellow pickup and hauled him to because the ambulance was gone, and he died between the I guess the rodeo arena and the hospital there at Prescott. Man. Yeah, Otis Sullivan, be who that. Anyhow,
but it didn't. I mean, you guys still wanted to rodeo, though.
Oh yeah, just that made him. I think my brother wanted to ride bulls. Just anyhow. But anyhow, we did everything but ride bulls. We shoot dogs. We did it all.
Dang.
Ribbon roped, calf roped.
Obviously, bareback ride.
Steer rode, bareback rode. Yep. Saddle broncs.
So, so you were at. You mentioned there. In the transition of your story, you were at a camp.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll get way off track.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
At Bozarth and Milo, we was holding some cattle up, and he actually had the contract. He has a rodeo company, or had. I don't know if he still does or not, but he had all the high school rodeos, and like I say, he was running YOLO's, that ranch that I was working for, and he always held up and he said, "Damn it." He said, "Why ain't you riding?" He said, "You ride too good." He said, "You can punch cows when you get done riding broncs." He said, you need to go ride broncs. Trust me, you need to go. And he didn't fire me, but damn it, I don't know if you know Milo DeWitt, when he says something and he meant it, I said, "Hell yeah, I'll give her a try. I get shot, I reckon."
Yes, sir.
And anyhow, so long story short, I don't want to get nobody in trouble. I got signed up for school and was supposed to be doing books. Now I'm married, hell, got a kid, and anyhow, I was supposed to be doing homeschool. I got my paper signed. I never did a lick of work, but I got into the last 4 high school rodeos, and I made the high school finals, and the bareback riding and the bronc riding, both slipped in there, got lucky, and anyhow, which later on might have come back in and bit me in the butt. But when I bought my permit, because when I with the PRCA, that's when I said, "Well, who turned me in?" And they said it was somebody from the High School Rodeo Association, and that's all they tell me. And as far as that went, but so anyways, back to the story there. Made it to the high school finals, didn't win it, but like I say, placed, and come back from that, and Milo, he says he didn't fire me again, but he gave me another speech we were holding. He said, "Damn it," he said, you need to go ahead and just keep riding broncs. And I said, "Well, hell, as far as that," I said, as far as that goes, I'm going to have a hard time. I'm already needing to get out there to pack salt, and there's a pipeline you had to fix all the time there on that Bozarth Mesa. And I said, "As it is, I got water leaks everywhere." I said, "I ain't being a very good camp man as it is." And he said, "Well, then hell, don't be a camp man." He said, "You can do that later on." And all right. So hell, I bought my permit, and anyhow, went and moved in with my brother-in-law there at a Z3 Ranch. There, my sister's husband there. And started rodeoing, and had some luck. Drew really good, looking back at it, unbelievably good, and got lucky and won enough money that come, I guess, October, whatever, which wasn't the end of the year. I mean, it was right before the end of the year. I think there was 1 week left, and they called me up and told me that I was ineligible, or I called in to enter a rodeo, I guess, and was flashing ineligible, yada yada. Couldn't enter any rodeos, and that's what it was. It was turned me in for being 17. I bought my permit early, so I had to pay back $10,000 or $12,000. And
hadn't you already been to Houston?
Well, no, I didn't go to Houston my first year. No, Prescott was I guess you'll call my big one. I won the all around at Prescott.
Oh,
there.
okay, got
yeah,
you.
Yeah, yes, sir. So,
I thought
which
it
was
was
kind of fun. You know, there's hometown rodeo. Dingster had been going there
So
my whole
you
entire.
won Prescott
Yes, sir. Yeah, I won
and
Prescott.
had to give that money back.
That money, yeah, and I guess I won Santa Fe.
Did you have to give all the money back?
All the money back, and then they fined me $2,000 on top of it, which was at the time the highest fine for fraudulence because I had signed it, and all I did was put, you know, which hell was wrong is wrong. I ain't trying to sugarcoat it, but hell, you didn't have to show your. I mean, back then, I don't know if you do now. You might still not have to, but you just write in whatever you want. And I wrote in I wrote in January 2nd as my birthday, and my birthday is November. So, anyways, just forgot to put a 1. You know, no, that didn't work. But anyhow,
Dang.
yeah. It was funny too. Is the commissioner and I talked to him like I called him and I ended up crying. I tried all different tactics and I was making a living. I had a brand new baby.
That's a lot of money.
And didn't have a solid job. Now, you know, was just day working there in Arizona, which is a little different than over here. I don't know. Anyhow, Dingster spent damn near all that money and then the 2,000 fine on top of it. Boy, it was damn sure put me in more than a squeeze. And told him I was going to kill him, whoop his if I ever seen him. And the booger, right after the NFR, he got fired. Anyhow, he'd taken a bunch of people off on some hunting trips, whatever, with PRCA money, and that was the reason he had to retire.
So
yeah,
it's okay for him to do.
Yeah, hell, he needed a little extra money for a hunting trip, I guess. But it all goes around, comes around, I reckon. But anyways, got it paid off and went back to rodeoing.
So it does suck. Obviously, it's that you had to give all that money back, but you had that money because you're riding so well. So you were on a roll, and so once you got paid up, that continued, and you got to make it back a little bit?
I tell you what, it was crazy that the day that I called PRCA to enter that rodeo, it was mid-morning or whatever, and that evening a fella walked. My in-laws at the time owned a feed store, and this old boy walked in and wrote me a check. He said God had put it on his heart to help tithe or whatever, and he owned a construction company on his way to Vegas, and anyhow, with what he gave me and the little bit I had still whatever in my account, I was able to pay off the 12,000 plus. You know, it was like 14 something total pay off to the PRCA, and then after we visited about a little bit, he wrote me a check. Like he'd sit there and be like, we figured it out. Like he's like. It was a wild old deal. Anyhow, he wrote me 2 checks. One was to buy my permit for the next year. And anyways, so that's how I got back to rolling and got after him. First rodeo back is Perry, Georgia. And 2 other buddies from there in Arizona, Scotty McLaren and Cameron Mullins. They're bull riders, and we entered Perry, Georgia, and I don't remember what else that weekend. Birmingham, Alabama, I think maybe, and right there at the beginning of the year. And coming from Arizona, being idiots, kids, whatever, we ended up getting turned out on there was a 2-header at Perry, Georgia. First rodeo back, I get turned out. We come running up, literally like an old Chris Ledoux song, running up the alley, and our horses just got turned out and was coming in, the pickup following the pickup men out the alley. We come running up there.
Dang.
Which we had been on the fairgrounds for 45 minutes, but hell, we didn't, we was kids, and that fairground's huge, and it's during their 4-H show and sale deal. And
so you had to stop and ride
we ran in one building, and they had sheep everywhere. Yeah, play the games. And no, we run from 3 to 3 barns, shapped up, rigging in hand, glove, spurs on, because we realized it. And just pulling into that place, we was probably 30 minutes, just traffic. And like saying, we didn't know about the cowboy lane yet, and just owning it, just pulling on in, and we sat in line, and of course was in the wrong line to part, just one thing after another. We ended up getting turned out on our first one. Talk about feel like an idiot. So I still, idiot moves all the time, and I still ain't used to it. You think I would be?
Well, they were, did you say they were bull riders?
Yes, sir.
So
Cameron actually rode bareback horses too.
Okay,
gotcha. His claim was just bull rider, but he rode bareback horses pretty damn good. Actually, Hell, I've seen him ride roly-poly once, but he's a bull rider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang. So you're getting all the kinks worked out.
Yeah.
Like you got your fines paid off. Now you just got to work on showing up on time.
Yeah. That's where it kicks back in, boy. The traveling partners I had, there wouldn't have been no way in the world, for so many different reasons, I'd ever, quote unquote, been successful, I guess, in rodeo without them guys. I mean,
yeah,
just for that simple reason, I had a Wes as far as we were getting the rodeo on time and getting entered places, and everybody did their part, but dang sure.
What year was it that you? What was your rookie year? The year you had to give all that money back. You're 17. What year would that?
That would have been 2001.
2001.
Yep.
Gotcha.
No,
So 2000
no, it wasn't. It would have been 02. Shit, I don't know.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
there.
Trying to think what the Prescott buckle what it says on it. But anyhow, somewhere in there.
They let you keep the buckle?
Yep, they'd asked for it, and I'll tell you what, it was honest. It was a straight up lie, and I hate liars, but I tell you what, I did, and I guess you go somewhere with a lie, but it wasn't the first time I'd told a lie at that point in my life, and I just blurted it out right away. I said, I pawned it just to pay you. And anyways, I still got that Prescott buckle. Yeah.
Man, they got 14,000 back, so surely it'll be all right if they keep the buckle.
Yeah.
I hope you're enjoying a ranch fuel as you're listening to this episode of Rodeo Time. Use code DALE on ranchfuel.com for 15% off, old son. Drink up and use code DALE on ranchfuel.com.
If you like your legs covered whenever you're riding, rodeoing, ranching, or dancing a jig at the honky tonk, I hope you'll go to rockandrolldenim.com and use code DALE for 15% off. These are the only jeans I've ever worn, and they're the only jean I'm ever gonna wear. Rockandrolldenim.com, old son. Well, yeah. So who'd you rodeo? How long before you ran in with Wes and Will?
Well, my brother went to school with Wes there in Snyder, and anyhow, when Raleigh found out I was buying my permit, boy, he was pumped, whatever, and which I'd already heard all kinds of stories about Wes just because me and my brother were close, and he'd come back from college or whatever and tell me all about the crazy little bareback rider, just all in on rodeo, just loves it, just retarded love rodeo, and how much fun he's having. Like he's talking about, man, I'll feed, even though I ride broncs, he's like, he pumped me, and Wes, he dang sure that's the way he is, and was all in, and so when he found out I was gonna rodeo or whatever, he immediately got to talk to Wes, and Wes, he went to enter me from right on from then, I guess. Well, I'd entered one rodeo. I entered Cave Creek, was my very first rodeo, and had a horse called Lucky 7, which is at the time was dang sure a bucker, and I had no clue what it was, whatever, and I guess goes eliminator pin, just like a lot of them, but just didn't know it, and got lucky enough to draw him, and went from there. So Wes, after that, he said, hell, if you ride him, he said, I'll enter you. And I rode Lucky 7, and so he went to enter me.
So that was early.
Yeah, that was early. He's entered me from the very beginning. I mean, he's dang sure. I've probably entered maybe, honestly, a half a dozen rodeos in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
What how quick was it that Will jumped in with you guys?
Well, it was me and Wes and Forrest Bramwell and Tyson Thompson. I guess it was 2 years before we jumped in with Royce and Will. And
Gotcha.
boy, I tell you what, just one of them deals. Some other two guys, Forrest and Tyson, both rode outstanding, but he got hurt. And then, excuse me, I got to get him a drink.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then there was down to three of us. And then Forrest, he got hurt there at Greeley and was out. And I don't remember who Royce and Will was traveling with, but anyhow, I think their partners or gotten hurt, or maybe it was just them. I'm not sure. But anyhow, midway through, I guess in 2003, 2004, we jumped in together, and then rodeoed for as long as I rodeoed.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
And who? It wasn't. How long after that did you guys start getting referred to as the Wolfpack?
Man, I tell you what, we was the starving coyotes. I mean, We really was. And Will, he was the champ. Of course, won more money than us, obviously. But he didn't mind being a starving coyote either. I mean, hell, we dang sure wasn't afraid to rough it. We had a lot of fun, that's for sure. And we damn sure didn't name ourselves. It was, I guess, I don't remember who it was that come up with it. Oh, Chad Klein, I think it was, called us that. We were standing on the van at some little rodeo. We all thought we was ducking off, according to Wes. Well, we didn't ever talk about it till we got there, but we all thought we was ducking off somewhere. And the hell, here, next thing you know, comes walking up Chad Klein and Jared Laverne and Chuck Logue. And then there here pulls up another rig. And I mean, hell, they look like a round at the NFR from the year before. And Chad and Bob Tallman, he's sitting there bullshitting with us. And Chad Klein goes walking by and he said, standing around, looked like a damn wolf pack. And he's just shaking his head. He's laughing. He said, and whatever. So anyhow, that's Bob. He called us that night.
Oh, so a rodeo announcer was standing there.
Yeah.
And
I'm pretty sure. I'm almost positive it was Bob. But anyhow.
And so he just ran with it too.
Yeah.
And once he starts announcing it, everybody
hears
it.
Yeah. And then for sure. And then, and then Wes, he always getting us signed up for something. And they had I guess it had been called a podcast or whatever, but we did videos, blogs, or I guess, or something like that. Vlog or whatever for the PRCA. And we sent in all kinds of videos. I only seen one of them that actually come out because wasn't made for television. Most of the stuff we just left the camera laid there. And I know me and Royce got a hold of it several times. Whoever edited it probably threw away a lot of footage, but there was a deal on the catfish and whatnot, and I don't know, wasn't much for he tried pushing the wolf pack deal then, and he got some shirts made. And Royce, when after the shirts come out, he threw a big fit and looked like a bunch of damn queers trying to do this. So
who made the shirts?
Oh hell, I don't know. There's boxes of them though. For hell, I think I still got some.
After the stuff came out from the PRCA.
Wolfpack. Yeah, the Wolfpack deal when they started calling us out west. He got it. What do you call it? Where you own the name or whatever.
Copyrighted.
Yeah, copyrighted or whatever. And anyhow, that's so cool. The Wolfpack. That's how that deal was. But we dang sure. As far as I'm concerned, we fed off each other big time, and I mean that. But that was obvious for anybody to see. I mean, you can. It was fun. It really. That's what I loved about rodeo. Is the four of us is when I love looking out through the chutes. One of the best feelings of my life. Over and over, and talk about rodeo if you ever miss something and whatnot. And that would be it, as looking through the chutes and seeing one of them be 90 and truly, being like, all right, if you just did it, I'm gonna get it on.
Yeah.
And I mean, and get out of the way. If he just did it, and I mean, all good. I mean, when it comes down to it, all good friendship, but it was there to win, and they did the same thing. And boy, it was made for some fun bareback ridings for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was What was it like walking up to a rodeo? Like, how did it feel whenever you were all four together? Like what would your emotions be compared to like maybe if you were by yourself?
Man, I tell you what, you know how it is, partner. It's just my buddies. I mean, brothers. It's. To me, when I was out there, it was just every day. It was just another day. It wasn't like I felt anything special about myself. By no means, like the whole necessarily wolf pack deal. But I tell you what, it was special when we had buckers jawed. When we were walking back behind the chutes, it was the best feeling in the world. I mean, to me, it was going in like a gladiator in the Coliseum. Like hell, I like to get all not emotional, but I loved the nerves. I mean, I got scared, but I had bucker. I mean, I was scared. I guarantee it, without a doubt. But I loved it. I really did, and figured out how to play with it and use it to my benefit. And it was fun. I mean, as far as that goes, I had to get to where I had to be scared, but there was a point when I was riding that I had to I guess it's been 2004, I guess. I hit a plateau in my mind mentally on my riding, and I got to the point where, you know, guys, different things, but hell, I'd be talking and visiting and before I actually got on, and which that's some people, that's the way that Will is that way. I mean, he didn't like to sit there and he didn't like people be yelling things before he rode. He just like calm, cool, smoke a cigarette, eat a hot dog, step on, take care of his job. And when I did that, I caught myself doing that. I wasn't riding as good. I had to step it up, and so hell, with that fear, you get adrenaline, and so we got to where didn't call back on draws or nothing. I mean, if somebody told us what we got before we got on, you know, stock contract or whatever, you know, great, whatever. But we got to where we wouldn't even find out. I mean, till somebody said, till they were running them in, and go ask the judge who would be standing there, or somebody, you know, or if they had it posted right there, you know, Wesley would have it written down, everything. Anyhow, well, had to add a new twist to it, and boy, like I say, I loved getting amped up. I loved the hour before the bareback riding. I might be stomping around there looking mad, but I mean, I loved it. I truly did. I loved being pumped up and nervous, and then climbing over that chute, and then just just take a deep breath.
It is the most intense event you can do in the arena, and so I feel like most guys. I mean, you could just look at Wes and realize he's intense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I could see you getting intense. I college rodeoed with one guy I can think of, Bill Tudor. Super laid back, very calm. I remember we were in. I can picture the town in the arena. I can't remember it. It'll come to me in a minute. But flags were still in the arena. Flag girls, and they were going out. His hands in his rigging, like his feet are on the slats, and they're like, hold on. And he looks over, and I can't remember who was standing there, but they had on a buck stitch belt, and Bill is right here, and he was like, did you do that buck stitch?
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah. And he was like, that's really good. And they were like, okay, Bill. And he goes, okay. And gets right here.
Yeah.
And I
Bill's
remember
just
thinking,
cool. I mean,
yeah, I remember thinking because the few bareback horses I got on, I could not do that.
Yeah.
Like I would have to go to this dark place in my head that for me it was dark, and I'm just like, I have to try to be the intensity level like to the max, which was hard for me, and ultimately why I switched to just riding broncs. But it blows my mind that guys like Bill can go to the NFR being that calm.
Yeah.
And you're saying that's how Will
was? Oh,
was?
yeah, absolutely. Same way. And, the shorter time we get to the rodeo, I mean, he loved being late to the point of he wasn't allowed to really drive at the end just because there's a good chance he's going to pull over to the golf course right there when you come into town. And I finally had to throw a red flag and call. We about got turned out. I think it was at Spanish Fork. And I said, my broke ass, I said, I need to make this rodeo. And they was stopped golf, and me and Royce, we went around a golf cart for the first 9, and anyhow, had a few beers or whatever. And them two idiots, they're competitive as they are, they're going around again for 18 holes. And anyhow, long story short, we get there when they're bucking horses. And so after that, we finally got lined out. No more golfing on the hour pre to the rodeo, just because them two won't stop. But anyhow, Will, he loved being late. He
loved being late.
Yeah, and I don't know anymore. I might have put it on a bunch of tape, but used to be he just tape his wrist for 10 years. That's all he did, just tape just a few wraps. So if he didn't do that, he wasn't too worried about it. He wasn't sweating it, and he just had his neck rolling his shafts and his spurs, and no vest or nothing. So he loved running up there and just climbing on.
You had a lot of tape.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. Dang right. I took every advantage I could as far as that goes. No, yeah. I got beat up for kind of early on and kept riding. So the only way I could do it was taping it up pretty much where it was like a cast to a point. I couldn't get it straight, but just right at straight. And I didn't go any farther past that, but anyhow, a couple different wrecks required that right off. But
what were those guys like as far as encouragement? So when it came to like helping each other, giving each other advice, like what was that?
It was great. Them three guys right there. Like I say, thanks to the reason I was successful for many reasons, but that's one of them there. We very critical. And I mean, to the point of, hurt your feelings, but piss on it. We're best friends, make a living. And that's how it was. If one of us was doing something or wasn't, they sure let him know, as far as, whether you're not staying square or not keeping your chin tucked or whatever, dang sure kept us honest to her, to the deal and trying to ride right. So that dang sure was helped a bunch. Like I say, there's many times where I would have been satisfied. I thought I'd rode good and come to find out I wasn't. So, and the next time it damn sure helped,
Yeah.
So that made a big difference. And financially, all three of them, there was times where, I rode to eat and to feed my kids. And rodeo as it goes, there was a lot of times, I rolled the dice every year. That's all I did was rodeo. And I was always all in. And you know how rodeo is, you enter 2 weeks before. So when you go in ineligible, say, you can't pay your fees, ain't got the money. Well, then before you're ineligible, you're entered for the next 2 weeks on, and
you can go to those.
And you can go to those. So, of course, you're going to go ahead and go to them. It's your last shot. And when I went ineligible, obviously I didn't have my money to pay them. So it was rolling the dice. And 4 times, long story short, besides getting hurt, I guess, is 4 times it worked out. I made the finals. The first year I made it was the only year we had it made early. I had Mark Gomes come up to me, I guess, right Calgary, and said, "Congratulations, partner." He said, "You got the finals made." And I looked at him. Well, I said, "Well, how's that?" He's like, "Well, I just found out I split Cody." And he said, "With you." And that puts you about $50,000, I believe. He said, "You got the finals made."
Dang.
And anyhow, so that year, and then I didn't hardly win another thing for the rest of the year, damn near. I'd only been bucked off once in my life up till then, and then come to my first finals, that all changed. It went down several times, but anyhow, good old rodeo. And the other 3 times, I bet I didn't have 2,500 coming into Reno.
Dang.
Summer. I loved the summer,
Yeah.
And like I say, Wes entered me and whatnot, but then winter rodeos, hell, I didn't live with them guys. You know what I mean? I busted my butt to get back and forth to see my family, and rode a bunch with Stevie Dollarhide, Bronc Rider.
Oh yeah, because they're all in Texas.
Yeah, they're all in Texas, and so I back and forth, and it showed on my riding.
The rodeos were in Texas.
You know how the winter rodeos are. Boy, a guy draws bad, and especially back then, not saying all back in the old days, but back then, boy, them big winter rodeos, you know how it was. To draw 3 good ones, you could very easily draw 3.
Right.
And, anyhow, I have to go home. And, but come to summertime, I lived with them guys, and it was a whole different feel. To the point as when we made the finals, we rode the finals together for a reason, not because we liked each other, but because we left our rodeo school, or Wes's rodeo school. We wanted to be, we rode better when we were together. Nothing, when you go to the rodeo with wife and kids or whatever, and the kids are fighting in the back, and you have a different attitude when you pull up there than you do when you pulling with your buddies that you do it with every single day that you go to battle with. I wanted to win as much as I could at the NFR, and so did them guys. So hell, we drove out there together because we rode better.
Yeah. Yeah. Get focused on the.
Yeah. Like Wes said, I enjoy being around my wife a hell of a lot more than you guys, but he's the same way. He rode better. So we rode to that together, but
Dang, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And if there's any time of the year, obviously summer, you're going to be out and about, but then like the NFR, like use that time to get focused. So
yeah.
Yeah, I remember the Thanksgiving rodeo school would obviously always be, and usually the way it ended up was there'd be, Thanksgiving, and then the school is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then you guys would take off
Yes, sir. Yeah.
from the school.
Yeah.
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 Occasionally there's a week in between there.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But
That and West moved it up 2 weeks for a couple of years there. I don't remember, something to do with Tilden, and Tilden talked him into it or something. I think he moved it back though. I think it's right back at the end, but I'm not sure.
Wasn't there a time when you thought you rode good, and which one of them told you, like, they were about to get on, you're walking back and you thought you had a pretty good ride, and one of them told you something about not lifting or something?
Oh, well, I'm not sure exactly. That might happen too, but it was in Kennewick, Washington. I had a horse called Witch Doctor of Grownies, Tim Bridwell's. Anyhow, I believe that's what it was. Black Horse was violent, mean. Bad in the box. I think he had won bucking horse at the NFR that year before, and violent. Minute. I think Justin McDaniels was like 120 points on him or something. It was a decent ride. And then Will, I think he got on her too there at the finals and was 190 some point. Anyhow, she was, but she was a bronc, and that's how she killed herself. She I believe she ran into they had a guy gated her when they were sorting, and anyhow, she killed herself. And she was bad to load. She was bad about everything, but chew on the pipes, sit there. And she'd be lathered up when they loaded her. By the time they got her loaded, anyhow, when they get her tied in there, she'd just sit there and chew on them pipes. Boy, she was one.
She was bucking horse.
She's scary.
Yeah.
She was a real deal. Anyhow, I guess I don't remember where he was at the night before. I don't know, I was 86 points or whatever. And hell, I hadn't been winning any money. And, or there was a rodeo before. I don't know if it was exactly the night before, but hadn't been winning any money. And hell, I won the rodeo, and everybody's good ride. And whatever it was straight away, droppy, but just good. Singe your feet. You're supposed to do do your job. One of them good ones, win money for you. And anyhow, about the third jump, she got my chin, and hell, they was flying past my rig, and I just left it there. And flogged away. And anyhow, I come back, and Will, he'd rode, but anyhow, right as I got set down there, take my stuff off, he goes, "What's going on?" And he hadn't said congratulations or nothing, which I wouldn't even noticed it really or nothing, whatever, but whatever. He's, what's going on? So what are you talking about? He's like, "Why aren't you tucking your chin?" He's like, "Man, there was no reason." "Yeah, she got your chin. Put it back." So you put it back. He's mad about it. And I said, "Yeah, I'll try." He's like, "No, do it." He said, "I want you to keep rodeoing. I want you to make the finals this year." And it was like after 05, I'd missed the finals, I don't know, by a couple $100, whatever. Well, yeah, just a tick more than that, but that's another story. But Mark Gomes, he was, we were 14th and 15th coming into Dallas last weekend of the deal, and Gomes, he didn't make the tour finale, but anyhow, I talked to him on the phone and whatnot almost the whole time. He had a phone back then, and anyhow, he called me all during Dallas, and he was going to them littler rodeos, whatever they are, and he had told me before the Dallas that weekend, he said, "Tom," he said, "I don't want to go to the NFR." He said, he's like, "The way I've been this last month," he's like, "I just got tortured by exposure," which was just a nice horse. He's like, "I'm hurting." He's like, "I'm an old man." He said, "There's no reason for me to go there and get tortured." He's like, "I make the 15th hole." He says, "You're going because you're sick." He's like, "You're right behind me." He's like, you have my spot." He's like, "I want all the trinkets and the money you get for you get a 4th place check when you get there,
right? Like
10,000. And I said, "Oh yeah, Mark, absolutely." And this was at Pendleton. This was actually, he said this to me before we were even right at that. He said, "If I make," he said, "I ain't gonna go." Pendleton, he said, "I don't think I'm gonna be able to go." He said, "There just ain't no reason to." And like he said, "I'm fighting my head." He said, "Especially if it's you." So he calls me there at Dallas, and Jason Jeter that year, he went from like 26th to he 40% of Dallas, And anyhow, bumped it where Mark was 16th and I was 17th. But
Dang.
yeah, so anyhow,
Dang.
didn't have to worry about that. But anyhow, 05, and then so I missed the finals that year, and so Will that he was pissed off I didn't make the final. I mean, he didn't sure.
Yeah.
Like I say, we was brothers, so he didn't sure did what it take to try to make me better.
What do you mean he 40% in Dallas?
Won all the go rounds, the 8-man and the short round.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know how much he won, but he won a pile. He come out of nowhere basically.
Yeah, he got 40% of the pot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
is
sir.
that what you mean?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
When did Wes was telling me something about you and him got in a fight?
That's the only friend I've ever fought twice. And it's been, I mean, we wasn't mad at each other like arguing, but we was arguing about something. It was who's going to buy the whiskey. The first time was who was going to buy the whiskey there at the bar, pay for it. And
He said y'all were at a
James,
you were at a bar,
yeah,
but it was some gay guys hitting on you.
yeah, it was in San Francisco. Literally, anyhow, we're at the rodeo there and get done riding and whatnot. And Wes, he'd went to Ireland on vacation some time before that and went on this Jameson tour around the distillery. And good Lord of mercy, we drank a lot of Jameson because of that. And that was one of the Jameson nights. That's all we drank, all of us, and nothing but Jameson. We use if you drank anything else. And anyhow, we're at the bar and had to pay her for this little hole in the wall bar, and there ain't nobody in there really but us. And one bartender and big old black bouncer, big old boy, and he just set off over there the whole time, not whatever, minding his own. And we're damn sure having us a good old time. I mean, good time. And we go outside. We're arguing who's going to pay for the shots. And Wes said, "Well, let's step with his Irish accent. Let's step outside and see who's going to pay for it." And we went out there, and I guarantee we sit there and punched each other in the face for a good while. And he finally caught me on the chin and plopped, landed on the back of my head. And he went ahead and mounted up on me and kind of had my arms pinned and was laughing. And I, of course, was trying to shake him. And anyhow, that was the end of the fight. And that was the last thing I remember that night. Was walking back in the bar and him saying something about, "You're bleeding everywhere." And hell, I didn't even realize it till then. And my chin was leaking a little bit. And anyhow,
Is that the scar on your chin?
Well, it's the one underneath. I don't know if I got kind of a bigger one here. I got kicked steer riding right as I got off of a steer that was turning back, spinning.
A couple weeks ago?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, steer riding. Anyhow, kicked me in the face and got some stitches there. And then the bottom one there, that's Wes. Anyhow, go back in the bar and we're sitting there drinking more whiskey. And this is a story coming from Wes and Shannon Miller. He was with us. He never entered. Yeah, he never entered with us just because was the four of us. But he entered alongside us for several years, and it was amazing how many rodeos we got the same. He pretty much was with us almost all the time. Anyhow, Miller time, he's there, and I bellied up to the bar, and these three or four of these big old surfers. I guess this one bleach blonde, long hair. I guess they're wearing flip flops. Mind you, I don't remember any of this, but come sitting at the bar, and Wes was to the left of me, and this fella come up, and they was ordering whatever right on my right, and Wes, he just said which that's Wes. He in his own world. He said, but all of a sudden he said, "I'd look over there," and he said, "This old boy you have your hand out, and this old boy just drops a pill in your hand, and you just literally throw it up in the air." Like that, catch it and gulp it. And he said, "What you taking there, partner?" And I guess I looked at him and said, I don't know. And so anyhow, a while later, I guess, I don't know, a few minutes, maybe it was an hour, I don't know. But like I said, this is coming from Wes and Shannon. All of a sudden, I'm stood up, and like these fellers there's two of them right out the door, and this old blondie, he's trying to drag me outside or whatever, and I guess I'm going to squalling or whatever. I don't know if didn't swing at him. They said I was more doing like almost the floppy, like you're just going down dragging, pulling the bramer, just melting. I imagine it had something to do with the pills. No, definitely not the whiskey. And anyhow, of course they go running over there and go to run over there to him, and this old boy just like lets go of me and just as they go to him and just whop gives me 2 or 3 of them or whatever. And there's one of them bar tables or whatever, the real round tables that are tall. Hit with that and down it goes. Well, he gets on top of me and gives me one, or I guess punches me once or twice before Shannon runs. But Shannon, he's the first one. And I didn't know why at the time or whatever. Of course, I don't remember any of it. But Shan, he runs up there, and this old boy just grabs his hair and just gets him one dally with his hand, just grabs like that and scoops him up, and then a run just knees him right in the head.
Shannon kneed him?
Yes, sir. And just jerked him right to his knee just at a run, just real quick. Wham! He said every time he kneed him, he got one more dally. He said this old boy's hair was long enough. He got 3 dallies on with his old long hair. He said kneed him once and got him another dally and kneed him 3. He said that third time the old boy just went limp. He said, he's out. He's done. He's about that time, I guess. Wes just spears this old boy just knocks him out. Like Shannon went to just undally from his old head like that, and Wes just form tackles, spears this guy, and just goes to dropping elbows in him, just punching him in like gives him a couple of them, and before you realize, like Wes, only seen him fight twice. Well, and I didn't see him fight this time. I only seen him really fight once, and he was crying. I mean, we had to pull him off this old boy, and we was in Ellensburg, Washington, and he's not good for really fist fighting. As far as, I mean, he gonna kill a boy. I mean,
he'll just like see red. And
he meant it. And anyhow, he realized the old boy was out, and so they jump up, and I guess I'm sitting there. I don't know how or whatever, but I'm Indian style, and just drooped over, leaned forward, and blood just pouring out of my old face or whatever. And so they just both of them scooped me up underneath the arms, and we had a hotel with a little old cheap, bars on the motel right next door. I mean, right next door to the bar, and dragged me over there to the room and threw me in the room, and then turned around and ran back. I guess they figured they was going to fight again or whatever, and they come running back. And as soon as they went in, there was nobody there but the bouncer, and he was squalling, "You gotta get out of here, get out of here!" And anyhow, Wes talked him out of it. But story is with that, Wes, he was going to be the first one to come to me. He was running, and all of a sudden he said, something just hits him in the ear. He said, damn near knocked him out. He said, like my feet flew up, my wadded up, hit the ground, just thumped, he rolled me up. And he said, of course it didn't knock him out. He just come back up and come running. And I guarantee I'd love to seen it. But he said he had to climb up this old boy. And I'm sure he wasn't.
It was the bouncer?
I do remember right at the beginning of the night that this boy was probably about 7 foot tall. I mean, he was a big son of a buck.
Yeah.
And anyhow, Wes stacked about 3 or 4 of them on him and didn't knock him out. But anyhow, enough that old boy went down. And as soon as he went down, Wes, he turned, and that's when he come running and speared that old queer that was beating the hell out of that Shannon, just kneed in the face. So anyhow, they ended up having, I guess, a couple more whiskeys ended up buying the bouncer. Wes bought him some shots of Jameson, and all was good. All was good. Next day, we was all up in Oakdale, and Wes, he is the only one that made the short round, like that. We was doubled up over the short round at Logandale also, and Wes, he was coming back, I think, second or third, or anyhow, he was going to fly back to that next morning, fly out of San Francisco into Vegas, and go to Logandale. And Sankey had it then. I don't know who has it now, but he had parlor game of Ike Sankey's, and sucker was like spurring this and never had the same trip twice. I mean, it was a bucking horse. Anyhow, a great horse. One of my very favorite. Fed my kids a bunch throughout the years, bucking some of a buck, but one Pendleton on him twice, or 1 second Pendleton on him twice to Will. But anyhow, bucking some gun, and Wes, I guess he got there to Vegas, whatever, and I don't know who picked him up. He said, but he got there behind the bucking chutes. I mean, rodeo was about to start by the time he got there, whatever, and flying in, and I don't know if a committee man picked him up or something, but he's getting there. They're getting ready to buck him, and he said, Roddy looks at him and just hands him a beer, And he looked at him and goes to hand him a beer. And he looked Roddy Hay, and he just looks at him and didn't say nothing. And Roddy said, "Wes, take it. You need it. I promise you need it." He said, Wes said it was a big, tall one. He downed her, and anyhow, I think he was like 87, 88 points. I don't know. He won the short round, and I think won the average or anyhow. That makes a good story at least. But I know he dang sure done good. He was 80-something on parlor game, which is a lot of work. I'd have loved to seen it. Never seen it, but in the short round of Logandale. But anyhow, we went to Oakdale, and back to my story. So the next morning, I just wake up, and the last thing I remember was fighting Wes. And boy, I stand up, and I can't straighten my right arm out. It's swelled up huge. I can't straighten it out. I can't bend it. It don't hurt unless I move it. You know, I mean, but
unless I try to use it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was seriously, you know, I mean, it didn't hurt unless I try to extend it or move it, whatever. So anyhow, and my nose is, I think at this time it was on the left. I mean, way over here, stretched out. I mean, plastered over here. And I look in the mirror and I see, so I do the old put my fingers in my nose and fall off the countertop there in the motel, and took a couple times, but I got it straightened back out. And of course, blood's just pouring out of it there in the sink. And I had a white shirt, one of them Pioneer casinos sponsoring us or whatever, you know, nice white pearl snap shirt, Pioneer or whatever. And I mean, you thought I'd butchered in it, you know. I mean, the sleeves were the only thing white left on the sucker. And tears and snot coming out my nose. I get it straightened out, and anyhow, of course, puking in the sink. And Wes, all of a sudden, that's when, oh no, Wes he was already gone. He'd woke up earlier. I think he might have woke me up right when he was pulling out. He did. He did. It wasn't Wes, but I woke somebody up puking and crying in the sink. And I think it was Royce. He said that's who it was. Royce, all of a sudden, he was set up and he was gagging, and like he normally does. That's every morning deal, kind of coughing and gagging. And he said, "McFarland, you can't be a cowboy and cry. Don't be a tears coming out. I said, "I ain't crying. It's just my nose." And anyhow, I straightened out my nose, and it all worked out. Hell, we got there. We was about as rough as a guy, I guess, can feel. I was kind of feeling a little puny, puking behind the chutes. And hell, next thing I know, they got horses loaded, and I get my rigging on there, and boy, I go back to puking, and I'm out of puke now. I'm just doing the old dry heaving, but I'm leaned on the Coors man in the can. I don't remember who it was that year, but the barrel was sitting there, the Coors barrel. And I just had my head laid on it and just sitting there doing the old dry, body just convulsing. And somebody pats my back, and they're starting the grand entry, and I look up like that, and it's Harry Rose, the judge. He's got his stripes on and everything. He said, "Man, I miss the old days." He said, "I'm serious. I miss the old days. You look like you had some fun." And I didn't even say nothing. I just went back to dry heaving. And anyhow, I don't remember the horse's name, but I'm pretty sure that was Cotton's Rodeo. It was the best one that Cotton had, or whoever with them California guys. It was their horse, good son of a gun. And anyhow, climbed down in there, and of course, run my hand in, and the horse was bad in the box, and keep wanting to look the other way, away from the chute gate. And anyhow, like that, kind of pawing and whatnot. And I got my hand run in. I got it run in before he went to lean in like that. And the sucker goes to grinding back and forth, and all of a sudden, boy, here it comes. Like I'm not dry heaving this time. Like I feel like hell. I don't think I ate since the day before we went there to San Francisco. But the burger was coming up, and they had been fighting this horse for a while too, like taking way too long. Somebody pushing on him over the top of the chute with a leg, and somebody pulling on him, and it's hot. And all of a sudden, here it comes, and I from the bottom of my toes, I puke, just, and this sucker hits the end of that neck rope, just, and then stands right up. Just stands perfect. And as soon as it stands, I slide my rig and a nod, and boy, I just fist fought till all of a sudden my face was in the dirt, and there's a lady talking to me. I can see the air, like dust, and I'm alive, thank God. I'm alive. And all of a sudden, when I sit up, I realized it was a gal with victory lap. She's standing with the horse in the middle of the arena. I was the last bareback rider, I had the best horse. And hop on this victory lap horse, and go around there, catch up with this flag. and the sponsor flag's already going around, and I mean, I'm going full throttle, and sure enough, here comes that whiskey again. Right as I'm making by the grandstands coming by the time the rope and shoots there, I lose it again, and boy, just I go to puking, and right, I got off that horse. I mean, I floated this poor booger's teeth. I mean, I got off. I'm talking now, and he was damn near out of run. And when I hit the ground, there was just a cameraman. I didn't hit him with my horse, and I didn't run into him, but it was like a calf roper. I mean, I got off actually pretty smooth. I mean, and right as my feet hit the ground, here it comes again. I puked all over his leg. It was Jim Fain. Anyhow, it was a photographer that goes to all them rodeos, knew him real well, and I mean, just splattered him with puke, which I'm sure it was just whiskey, but. Anyhow, I leaned against that damn healer's box, laid against that healer's box till after the bronc riding. Somebody came, I don't remember what it was, come and handed me a bottle of water, but just laid there and enjoyed it. I was alive.
Golly.
That one might have been a little bit.
What a 24-hour period.
Yeah. It was a wild one. But it was a fun one. And I know that everybody else, Shannon, I think he ended up second there at Oakdale. We everybody in her group are won money. Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then West
was the only one that went to Logandale. Like I say, the rest of us went to Oakdale, but Will placed. I think Will had went to bed right before the whole, I guess you call it roofies, but I was more like a floory. Put me on the ground.
Dang. So you fought Wes another time?
Yeah, we was in good old Caldwell. Caldwell Night Rodeo. Pretty good time. And hanging out with Robbie Hodges. And there at his trailer, rocking out. And I don't remember what exactly started it, but we decided we was going to go ahead and go. And it was like he started it went with him tackling me. I mean, there was punches, but it was kind of more of a wrestling. And a little bit, maybe because it was Robbie's stuff, table got flattened right off. I mean, just flat, just a picnic, like, you unfold when you get to the rodeo, whatever, it was Robbie's. And so then chairs got brought into it. And anyhow, it was a good time. I'm going to say, honestly, hell, he might argue it. I don't care if he does. I won that one. That's my story, and I'm telling it.
He won San Francisco, and you won the one at Robbie's.
Yeah. When he was all but out. I had him choked, and he was dang sure not tapping, but I didn't go ahead and just choke him all the way out. I let him go, and it choked him out enough. He admitted it was all done. At the time, I wanted to fight.
Doesn't it get a little rowdy sometimes at the school, the Thanksgiving school?
It has. It damn sure has. But it's. It's kind of like we was when we rode. I mean, I'm just telling you some wild old stories. That wasn't every weekend. You know what I mean? That wasn't every day. But there were some years that some people might say got out of hand for the instructors, but Wes, he made it to where it was just a bareback rider reunion from the very beginning. He called the guys that, when he first started, called the generation right before us, the guys that had made the finals and the world champions, and Chuck Logues and Bruce Fords, and made it to where them guys, kind of a reunion for them. And then it just went on from there. I mean, Stace, he's been awesome always from the very beginning, whether it's been at his house or whether it was at Mesquite, the arena there in Mesquite, which it was only there for a few years. And then we decided we better get back out of town.
Yeah,
it needed to.
I remember it being at Mesquite.
Yeah.
I loved it there.
Oh, it was probably, I'll tell you what, it was some of the funnest times of my entire life. I mean, as far as one rodeo, I mean, well, we had some good times there, didn't we?
Yeah, that 8-second club.
Yeah,
right there next to it.
Yeah, that was a
recipe for disaster.
Yeah, and then putting on the performance. The night of the back then, Wes tried to do it, or he didn't try. We did it. All the instructors, I mean, we sent all the kids home, or didn't send them home, whatever. They tried to, go to your hotels or whatnot. And then he decided, well, we're going to make a performance at night, and we're going to have teams. The instructors pick their own teams or whatever, and they're groups of 3, and we'll do all the events. We'll buck out bulls, and we had bull riding in the school then too, And anyhow, which the bulls were, smaller bulls, junior bulls. And anyhow, we had a whole bunch of steers for the bronc riding and the steer riding, the bareback riding. Anyhow, we did all sorts of events, but everybody was highly, highly lubricated. I guarantee that for sure. But it was fun. It was fun times. Hell, it's Tilden Hooper's story, but I'll tell it. I'm not going to say it made Tilden who he is, because he's a bad son of a gun. It's all him. He had to work for it. But he was a student at one of our schools, and whatever, yada, yada. He didn't know a damn thing about riding a horse, much less bareback riding. And anyhow, he had to work his ass off to get it, but he was able to do it. But the story goes, he says about his first school, he's in high school, whatever. His mama drops him off there. And, well, anyhow, one of them nights, me and Pete Hawkins, we decided we're going to go see a friend in Houston. And we run down to Houston and see a buddy of mine, Peter Dykeman, and we party. We have us a good time. And dang it, next thing you know, I mean, we better get back. So we come pulling right into the rodeo school, 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. And especially back then, it's not quite as early now, but Wes, he was rise and shine. He made all them kids, if they camped out there, I mean, he was rattling, making them get up, whatever, this and that. And we come pulling in, and they're loading bucking horses, and had made the finals that year. And we'd always get on a horse there at the rodeo school, and when we come pulling in, well, they're loading them. I mean, and they're ours, the ones we're going to get on. So, of course, hell, now's the time they're loading them. And so we jump out and throw some tape on, me and Pete both, and we ride or whatever, and sitting there drinking a beer afterwards. And Tilden, the story goes, then, whatever, day goes on, put on the school, do the school, and whatever. Tilden, he tells a story later on that he was a kid, his mom dropped him off. He said, I wasn't the first day, he said, Bareback in the school scared out of me. He said, and I tell you what, he said, I seen that morning, I was sitting there about to puke, and I seen you and Pete Hawkins come flying down that dirt road. This is when it was Stace's ranch there, and not there in Muskegon. He said, flying down that dirt road and come sliding it in. He said, and bail out, and you guys was taping up, and he said, I seen you over there. You went and hunted up, grabbed you a beer, cracked the top. He said, and handed it to Pete, like drank half of it and handed it to Pete, and he said, Pete finished her off and threw her down, hooked a cinch on his bareback rigging. And he said, yours was already saddled or whatever, you had your rigging on. And he said, you got on, spurred the shit out, and both of you guys spurred the liver at him, came back and was drinking another beer. And I decided right then, whenever you guys came back and was laughing, drinking a beer, you're like, I'm going to do that for a living. Whatever it takes, I want to do that for a living. I want to be that guy. And so after it took him, like you say, I guess the story goes, it took him a lot of years to get it. Hell, I don't remember him there at the school. I guess to hit too many times in the head or just kind of dumb. But hell, I don't remember him that first year as a kid. So I guess he was pretty green, and he was a kid that got thrown off a bunch and kept getting on. But
it worked out for him.
Oh man, he's a beast. I love him. He's about as good a human being too, I think.
He was my very first podcast.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he can rattle, can he?
Yeah, and then I had him again later, and it was cool to. Yeah, I'm a big Tilden Hooper fan. So, and he's a fan of mine. He tries to copy my style with the hair and everything.
Well, that's evident. It's evident. I mean, he's only human.
Right.
Yeah.
What was Royce intense like you and Wes as far as like when he rode, or was he a little closer to Will? What was his riding style like?
Man, I tell you what, Royce is a whole different beast. It was amazing. For somebody that absolutely refused to work out. I mean, absolutely refused. Wes, he'd always preaches to them kids there at the rodeo school, you got to work out. I mean, he'd get them up, do a workout session every morning. And like Royce Ford says, there's athletes, and then there's people that work out. Some athletes just ain't got to work out. He was Gumby. His body, how he could do what he did and stay healthy for as many years as he did, he was an unbelievable bareback rider. He did things correct. And he was a tall bareback rider, and he sat square, and he tucked his chin, and he used his feet. And I mean, he rode up when he, not that he didn't mess up, but when he was on, to me, there wasn't a prettier ride and ranker. I mean, it couldn't be a ranker ride. And I mean, he dang sure, refused to do anything as far as working out. Almost it made it a point to him and Wes. You know, they kind of always rivaled and butted heads. And Wes, since he was a workout freak, Royce, he wasn't going to have nothing to do with it. Absolutely not.
Did you?
What's that?
Did you work out?
You know, I didn't the first, till that, I guess it'd have been after 05 when I missed the finals by a little bit. After that, I went to working out. And, you know, a lot of that went to, I realized I had to for me to be at that next level. I wasn't Royce Ford. I needed every little bit I could. I mean, and being in better shape, obviously. And I learned, I hated working out as far as when I first started.
Mm-hmm.
I sit there and count. I mean, it just wasn't my deal, wasn't my thing. And got to working out with Wes a little bit. And anyhow, figured out about thinking about riding, truly riding and going through visually riding a bareback horse and getting your motor running, getting fight mode when you worked out. And then next thing you know, I'd be sitting there till I, puke and dry, just in there. Yeah, I got to where I worked out quite a bit. Yes, sir. The strongest I guess I ever got, I could do 90 one-arm push-ups with my right arm and then 90 with or 80, I guess it was 85 with my left arm. But right behind each,
wow.
Do the right arm first and then the left arm. I got to where
what were you weighing
But
then?
that was, I guess that would have been like 2014. That was like the last few years of rodeo. I don't know. Shoot, I don't know. No clue, really. I got pretty stocky for a while there.
Like 155 or like 175?
No, like 155.
Gotcha.
Yeah, 160.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, heck, I don't know. Almost, I was damn sure wasn't the working out fault, and it wasn't nobody's fault, but different thing. But like, I guess it'd been 2014. I got fined up a bunch. I knocked, I don't know how many holes in, 6 horses fines for knocking holes in them. And to the point where come Dodge City, I was ineligible. And I forget anyhow, but I had to pay all, at the end of it, I owed the PRCA like about $9,000 with whole fine. And that was calling, what's the sound? He does the scoreboard deal now, or the DJ man for the rodeos, or he used to, but he was the fine man back in the day. And he's a buddy of mine. Hell, I can't remember his name, but
Rusty?
No. Anyhow, he was ahead of the fine deal. I called him and he got a bunch of them lowered. Like Reno, I got fined for knocking holes in a horse called Comanchero, which Eliminator pin, NFR, buckskin horse, belongs to Reno Rosser or Cotton. Anyhow, bucking scary son of a buck. And I knocked 3 holes in him, and they fined me 3 times for that. Like, so he got that dropped down to just 1 fine, And then they can take and I don't know who decides this, the good old PRCA, but at the time they could take and every time you got fined, they'd double it. Like say the $250 for knocking a hole in a horse.
Right. Yeah. And then the next
horse,
time. Yeah.
$500. And the next horse, $1,000.
Right.
And anyhow, he got it to where I just had 7 fines. Like I don't even remember what the total was. It was unbelievable because they kept like being doubled like they can do. And he overrided that. And there were 7, I had to pay for 7 different knocking holes in horses. And heck, when I first started rodeoing, he was from down there in Huntsville, bareback riding son of a gun. He never made the finals, but should have.
Bubba Miller?
No, but he didn't. Trey Fisher.
Oh, yeah.
They sent him home one year. He was, I think, coming into Reno, he was winning the world. And he couldn't ride the rest of the year. He had knocked so many holes in horses and fined him up. And then, even paying his fines, they, like, for the rest of the year, suspended him for knocking holes in horses, which he was a beast. I mean, that guy, his legs, he could spur one.
Dang.
He was ranked. But, different deal. I never wanted to knock a hole in a horse at all, ever. I mean, obviously, for reason. I mean, heck, you want to pick them up, not hurt them, as far as bucking,
right.
Just like saddle. I mean, and so, hell, I'm not saying, like I say, workout working out too much is what caused that. I mean, a guy has to control his body, but I wasn't skillful enough, I guess, to be able to hold myself back when it comes to bareback. As far as that goes, help one out instead of hurting them.
Well, if you're having to go to that special place in your head, it's hard to back it off.
Yeah, oh yeah, very. I mean, was for me. Was for me.
What? Walk me through like what you would think as that gate. Like you're cracking your hand in there. Like what is going through your mind? Are you picturing a ride? Is it the fundamentals? What are you telling yourself?
Well, I'm not really necessarily telling myself anything at that point. I'm reacting, I guess, to an extent. When I climb over the chute, I mean, it's a whole nother world. That's what I loved about bareback riding. To me, it's everything just shrinks down. It's almost slow motion. It's going fast, but it's slow motion, and that's also. I mean, I was the guy that loved rocking out. I mean, hell, I even caught myself, slapping myself, whatever, getting myself pumped up and whatnot. But when I climbed over the chute, it was being a horseman. Then I was in that fight zone already. As far as being calm and not ramming and jamming, and basically it was already riding. So I was thinking about the fundamentals, whatever I had to do to run when I was running my hand in. I was thinking about doing that. I mean, not thinking about, I wasn't worried about lifting or sitting there going, set my feet, lift while I was running my hand in. I was making sure when I was running my hand in, my horse was, was getting out as clear as I can, make sure it's all the way through. When it's through, I mean, thinking about the process.
Yeah.
I was, and that became where, it's muscle memory, whatever. And I had to always kind of keep myself back to the basics, think about what you're doing, your job in hand. As soon as you get your hand run in there, one peek out in the arena, make sure your judges are paying attention, piss on the rest of it. Most of the time you got a guy running the show anyways that won't let you nod, but the one thing Daddy grinded in her head since he was a little kid is it don't do no good if that judge don't watch you. You can make the best ride in the world, and it ain't gonna do no good unless they're watching. So make sure you got your judges and looking for the judges. And as soon as I do that, slide up on my rigging and nod my head. And of course, rodeoed for them years. Thought about different things while I was riding, and had different kind of things that I thought I did or whatever ways about going about it. But basics, lift and set. It's not calf roping or bronc riding or bull riding. There ain't 100 counter moves. I mean, the more you rip your feet or the more that horse sends your feet, if you're, it's going to drive when they send your feet, it's going to drive your ass up to your rigging. So really, I mean, as far as letting them fly, all that does is help. I mean, to me, that was, Larry Sandvik said it best. When all else fails, you just send them to the sky. Because you climb back up underneath your rigging and it drives your ass right to your rigging. So the harder and the faster they went, or if the more I got out of whack or whatever, the more I tried to let them send them and try to beat them back, send them and try to, So for me, it was, it's an event where it's not easy, but it's simple. It's not easy to do, but it's very simple. It's, it's punch for punch. No matter what, you go back to the same thing, and that's setting your feet and getting the horse with your feet and lifting on your rigging.
Did you ever get hung up?
I did. Not very often. I was hung up as soon as I cracked my hand back, really. I mean, I was, but thank goodness I only got away from my hand one time. And it was one of them deals, Santa Fe, New Mexico, and long, skinny arena. And around we went, like 3 trips, I guess. And one thing about it is I've always welded my rigging to a horse. I mean, hell, I did before, and I thought I did then. But anyhow, it was one of them deals. Right when they got a hold of that booger, my rigging went to slipping, and it did. It slipped, but I mean, stepped all around me, tore my shaps off. Never had a bruise. I mean, anyhow, got the horse stopped, and I stood up and got my hand out. They didn't have to. Somebody was trying to take the rigging off, but anyhow, got away from it. And but that was the only time. That I take that back. Williams, Arizona, rodeo there. I got bucked off into my hand, and anyhow, drug around the arena for a lap, I guess. And anyhow, Just one hot glove come off my hand. It was an old glove, was needing a new one, and just wadded up on the back. When I cracked it around, whatever, and had a big old wad of leather on the back side of it, and for binding. And hell, I used the same glove for, I guess, all through what you'd call my high school career. Phil Smith set up my first rigging and first glove at the NFR there at the booth. Didn't know him from nothing. He didn't know me anyhow. Walked up.
The
Phil Smith, the Bareback.
Phoenix vest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And sets up. He said, "How do you want it?" I said, "Just like you'd ride it, there, sir." He's riding that night. He made the finals that year. And he's all right. And looking back at it now, man, he spent all day long. I mean, hell, I guarantee he didn't have time to go back to his hotel to make it to the rodeo as far as traffic goes. Yeah, that booger had to go straight to the Thomas and Mack to get on. And I mean, I went to him that morning. It took him, because he did my glove and the rigging. And like the glove, I mean, the glue had to dry and everything, but I mean, it was set up. It was ready to roll after the glue on everything dried on the rig. And all I had to do was take a rasp to the part that he said, just rasp her down and till it's right. And that time you couldn't have tits on your glove there in high school. So I got the glove with no tit on it. So he said, which Phil, plenty old school, he set it up with just a palm bind, And like I said, I rode that glove for 2 years, pro rodeo, and jumped in with Wes fast forward. And Wes, he had to steal that old glove from me, and to get me to use a new glove. And I finally used a new glove. Of course, I loved it as soon as it did. And about the same way with the rigging. I was about 6 months before I finally give up that old rigging that I'd had the whole time. And he made me use a new rig, give me one of his old riggings. And sure enough, it felt way better. So anyhow, that's but that old glove I got on Chester, my rookie year. I still have that glove, but I got on Chester with a palm piece from old school bareback riders. No tit or nothing on front or back, just palm bubble, and which I was only like 78 points. Hell, he tortured me. I spurred him from his ears to his asshole, but it was it flopped around. But I did get him twisted with that old glove. It hung on. But anyhow, that was the same glove. I drug around with that, and you could do it. It was.
What's your hand look like now?
Oh, not bad. It's funny. I guess maybe 5 years or so. I guess my old pinky finally went down. It used to be, that knuckle right here used to be huge. Was forever, and hell, like a lizard. I guess it just ended up.
Hands holding up.
Yeah.
I mean, can you oh man, what happened right there?
That was a pine tree in New Mexico. I was trying to get around some cows that was running off.
Did you see that, Donnie?
Yeah. That limb didn't break. That limb didn't break. It
Did you reach up or something?
Well, no. It was pretty much a runoff, which I was wanting to run off. Hell, them cows was trying to get, like I say, get a hold of them, and they was damn sure peeled out. They damn sure wasn't holding up, and we was flying. Anyhow, long story short, I hit a pine tree, a pinon pine, coming into a thicket, and there's a little clearing, a little park, and we was moving full blast when I hit it, and boy, it slowed this horse down. I call him Dewey Cox, and belonged to a guy named Jake Anderson who was running it. It's a Mangus ranch. Anyhow, that pine tree we damn near come to a stop, but that limb when it come loose, it hit me right there above the belt buckle, and of course, just about that time my horse he's going and old cantle, to the back, and my old head on his asshole, drugs me out the back and hangs a stirrup for just kind of a little bit there behind him, whatever, and peeled me off real cool like. And anyhow, didn't drag me a long ways or nothing, but dang sure enough that I thought I was pretty hurt. And I go to get up, and I thought it was my hip, whatever, was busted and whatever, and tried to get up again, and no good. And I'm like, this horse, he's kind of a bronc, belonged to the ranch. I knew he damn sure wasn't going to be just right over there. Anyways, waited for a little bit, and we finally gathered me some pine needles and got some sticks all gathered up and started me a fire. And I guess it was about an hour, maybe 2 hours. Here comes Jake leading my horse, him and Chad Conley. He was helping there too. They come trotting up, and anyhow, they found me, whatever, smelled the fire, and got me on my horse. And I don't know what it was, but when I went to get on, something popped, like right when I went to swing that right leg, and it sounded like a shotgun going off. And Chad says he don't know. He couldn't hear it because I squealed so loud. But anyhow, something popped in there and
In your finger?
no, in my hip. Hell, I didn't even know my finger was like this for like a week. I mean, my whole hip was hurting some again. But anyhow, we got to where we had camp set up, had a wagon there, whatever, set up that we'd been camped at, and get off ponies and jump in a truck and go to town. It's a couple hours just outside of Comado or whatever. And there's no hospital there, so we have to go on into Arizona and or Springerville, Arizona. There's a hospital, and we go in there. And anyhow, they took X-rays, and hell, they said I was good to go. Whatever, let me go. And like I said, never even noticed my finger or nothing. But boy, it sure was hurting. And anyhow, I don't know what the deal is, what that's called on the hip deals, but that blade that sticks out right here on this right side, it's just laid like the edge of it just lays complete. It's laid completely over, which it's healed. I mean, it feels good now, but like that them tendons or whatever the muscle attaches to, muscle's still attached to it, and it's solid there, but it just is flopped over. It just
Dang.
I just whatever that's called, busted it where it just anyhow.
In February this year, I got to go to Arizona with Derek and catch Maverick
I bet that was pretty good
on
time.
the reservation down by like Globe, Arizona. Have you ever got to do that out there anywhere?
Out there in no, I've never.
Or just anywhere like out there?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, shoot. I never had any contracts myself as far as like, but bunching cows, yeah, I went and helped a lot of buddies, or I took different day working jobs, catching cattle.
Yeah, no, that's close
tried
enough.
to-
Yeah.
Most all the deals, I never went on any, like say, straight up catching deals back in Arizona. I take that back. Most of the deals, anyhow, like I'm talking about, where I caught cattle or whatever, was on a ranch where they had just wild cattle. I mean, it wasn't just
Yeah.
we was trying to gather them.
To me, that's the same.
Yeah,
I guess I'm just saying like catching some type of Maverick
yeah,
in
yeah,
Arizona.
Yeah,
would
you know,
be,
I mean,
guess the-
yeah, I mean, that was the last ditch effort, was catching them,
Yeah.
trying to hold them up or, whatnot. But yeah, I ended up catching quite a few of them. But as much as that country, hell, it's as you know, when you're out there, it's a lot of work after you get one caught. I mean, I hadn't seen your video deal or nothing, but surely you had to lead everything out of there, huh? Or no?
We
was you able to get
camped there for
vehicles?
5 days.
Was
so
you able
we,
to get vehicles to them wherever you caught?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
we had to lead
Oh,
all
you
of
did?
them pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you could rope them close to the road, that'd be good. But
Right.
they all tied them to trees
Yeah, for the night or whatever.
till for a couple nights,
Yeah.
and till it was time to go.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the experience. I would be kind of just. I mean, obviously, you've probably caught a lot of quote unquote Mavericks in Arizona. I just didn't know the whole process that seems to be kind of what they go through when it comes to like tying one to a tree, and the way you tie the knots and the way they would lead them out,
Yeah.
cut the horns
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
off. And,
Yeah.
and that was, that seemed like for all the guys that were in the camp,
Yeah.
it seemed like, I mean, just commonplace that's how they did that. And I think there's other people do it that way. I'm sure in New Mexico, we probably drove by people in West Texas that have done it that way. But it seemed very special to Arizona and kind of their style, I guess.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what made me ask it like that.
It's funny. I've heard it said about Wiki up there in Arizona, and it's in Mojave County. But I think it was Charlie Gould that said it. He said, that Mojave County, he said, it's got, in my opinion, probably the best cow punchers in the world. And Charlie, he loves to go up buckaroo country. He's done nothing but punch cows his whole life. I mean, wherever there's been an outfit, Charlie's probably worked there. And he says that Mojave County's got probably the best cowboys as any county in this whole world. He says, as far as my opinion, he says, but they got wildest no handling cattle there is. He said, isn't that the weird? He said, and
Probably why they're such good cowboys.
well, I mean, hell, that's whatever. It's that kind of country. You got to have a cow that's going to make a living, and to make a living in that country, you ain't going to be a black Angus cow.
Right.
You
Yeah.
just ain't. You ain't going to have a calf.
I had Derek on the podcast, and yeah, he hates a black cow.
Name of the game is raising calves, and I mean, they just
And
ain't
there's
gonna happen.
there's a lot of cow punchers around here that hate black cattle.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
just-
I don't even want to get started on them. Yeah.
In the words of Cole Hatfield, who you know, no passion,
Yeah.
no passion.
Yeah.
But
Tell you what, only thing what to me, in my opinion, the only thing that's worse is these red Angus cows. It seems like the only thing that is the just like dumb as an Angus cow, but when it comes to their calves, hell, they hear a vehicle drive by, they're going to 100 of them, 200, 300 of them be a dead run, leave every calf. I ain't never seen a good mama. That's one of them damn red Angus cows. Not any of them. They're terrible. Have good bags, big old bags, and raise good calves. But boy, I hope there ain't no lions in that country.
yeah,
I mean, terrible.
dang. So you've been day working around here for a few years now. Here
Yeah,
in Texas.
yes, sir. Yeah, no.
Or have you gone back to Arizona some?
Oh, I go back to Arizona every now and then. I haven't been for about a year. I don't go a whole lot, but I like to get it bounce around. Them boys, I went on, I guess last time I left for a while, I went to Arizona, went to the ROs with Spring Wagon there. And boy, it was, I had a blast. Really did. It was kind of a childhood dream. Hell, my dad had run the wagon before I was born, and he always told stories about the ROs. And anyhow, it was a horseback outfit, everything, as far as quote unquote what I've been raised, what a cowboy's supposed to be, and the kind of outfit you'd want is that, everything, every day, horseback, just prowling your country. Hell, we worked the west side when I was there, and it's all one pasture. There's 4 camps on it, and there's little traps right around the camp that they have for horse pastures throughout the year for the campmen. But besides that, it's 255 sections, one under, one fence, just one pasture. And it was a blast. But them boys, I got homesick. They have so much fun. They literally eat up. They live and breathe cowboy every day. I mean, and I haven't pushed it on them. They love it. And
they're punched out right now.
Oh, they're just dressed.
Yeah,
they're just dressed.
Yeah, to them they're just dressed.
Yeah. My brother, we dropped him off last night at my brother's house, and we picked him up before we came here. My brother said went walking by Bronx, and his bucket had the squeeze chute there. He has a bunch of getting ready to show cattle and whatnot, and he got a squeeze chute that they had been using as a bucking chute, and it was flared open. And Bronx, he was standing there, leaned up against the chute, catching his breath, and he didn't have no shirt on. And Raleigh went walking by him. He said, "Hey, Uncle Raleigh." And he said, "Yeah, Bronx." He said, "I'm a wild bronc rider without a shirt on." He said, looked back down and kind of kicked the dirt. I'm a wild bronc rider with no shirt on.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Do
you think they're going to be bareback riders?
I don't. I bet they're everything riders, my guess. That's the way it is right now. They're everything riders. Oh,
everything riders.
Of course, named Bronx, he's kind of the bull man. Even though his name is Bronx, he's the bull man. He's loved bulls. He'll be a stock contractor. Well, I think. Who knows? He'll probably be a rocket scientist. But he literally is like, he's got them little plastic bulls, and he hauls them to rodeos every day. Well, anytime he's got any free time where he's in outside playing with me or Uncle Monk or whatever, he's on the porch bucking his bulls, sorting his bulls, hauling them to the end of the porch and hauling them back.
Yeah.
And I mean, we got somewhere to go. I mean, he bucks his bulls every day.
Yeah.
I mean, he has to buck them, and then he'll buck his calves. And it's serious business. Every one of them is branded, and it was no joke. Ended up last year, got him one of them Happy Toy Maker deals, and man, I tell you what, Will Lowe, he'd give the boys a Happy Toy Maker arena. His boys outgrew it, and he gave them to Bronx years ago, and then we bought Bronx the semi, and it's on every day.
Dude, it's crazy how much those kids love those toys.
It's unbelievable.
Whenever I'm at the WRCA finals, they put my booth next to his. And I think maybe because the WRCA thinks of me as a child, and I do go over there and play with the toys some. But regardless, those
they're cool.
Kids
they're cool.
will sit there for 8 hours and never leave that booth playing with those happy toys.
Yeah, and use their brain. Like it's good for them. Hell, I mean, I get whatever, but instead of being TV, getting told what to think, they kind of have to use their own noodle. It's great for their imagination, and I mean, to make it be fun. You know,
Yeah.
obviously that, at least for Bronx. I mean, he's in his own world. He's in that rodeo world when he's bucking them, and whatever. He's gonna be a stock contractor, I reckon. That's just my guess. But I bet he rides too. Little booger's kind of talented.
Well, I normally wrap these up with life advice, but that's a little broad. And I think that to be more specific, I texted earlier. I texted Dylan to come in. He's been on 4 barebacks now, and he's working for me and loves it.
Heck yeah.
24. He's 25. He's been on 4. Very athletic, super capable. And so I guess rather than just life advice, what advice would you give Dylan?
Dylan, man, I tell you what, hell, that's where I want to give you good advice. So think about it just a little bit. But obviously, he says you love it, whatnot. Don't advice. Don't get frustrated on not riding good, or I mean, dang sure try to ride your best. But well, rodeo's it has God involved and it's got animals involved, where other sports can get by without that. And enjoy the process. Don't get frustrated. I mean, when things don't feel good, just keep entering. I mean, keep going. It'll a lot of times, like you say, it's a draw. I mean, they got this cowboy channel now, whatever. And looking back at it now, I mean, I used to be pretty dang hard. You ain't gonna win nothing when you don't draw good. And boy, rodeos they're a hell of a lot better. Horses are ranker, and there's a lot more of them now. But they still a draw. I mean, it's still a draw. And don't because you ain't winning, don't get down on yourself. Just do it because you love it. Remember right now, when you get a rodeo, and remember why you love it now. It's because it's a fist fight. It's the adrenaline rush. It's about, for me, it was about to die, or didn't want to die, but especially me and Wes both, we loved the passionate part about it. It was
What do you mean? It's
nothing
about
be
to
better.
die?
I mean, as far as truly,
That's how you walked into it?
Yeah, today I'm ready to die. I'm going into it.
Yeah.
Today would be a good day to die. I mean,
hell yeah.
Today, I mean, if we're gonna,
I thought that's what you meant.
Today's. I mean, hell yeah, let's get it. If it's gonna happen, I'm gonna do it railing out on this. I'm gonna give it my 100%. I mean, I don't care if I'm right. If
I love that.
Nothing.
I thought that's what you meant.
Yep. And God rest his soul. But the reason Lane Frost, in my opinion, he was a great champion, obviously. But I promise you, or in my opinion, I promise you that if he wouldn't have died there in Cheyenne in the short round, being a world champion, he'd have just been another world champion from Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Even if he'd have been a great world champion, he wouldn't be the guy that turned thousands of kids into rodeo.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many kids turned to rodeo? I mean, had to be.
Yeah.
I mean, that movie was, when they put that movie out, Lane Frost was the best thing, in my opinion, for pushing kids. I mean, I dang sure wouldn't have, I didn't have dreams of becoming a world champion or even rodeoing, but watching 8 Seconds, I was like, hell, that rodeo could be cool. That does look like it'd be fun. But
Yeah.
I mean, it just wasn't my deal. But
Yeah.
But
that's a good point.
that's how we looked at it. And boy, if you can leave the world in a better spot, why not? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, and truly, I mean, figured that gentleman's in heaven, and boy, I'm gonna pat him on the back if I ever make her there, and
Yeah.
tell him you that was rank, but you did. I mean, you made some cowboys.
That's wild. Come here prepared to die.
Dang sure, and I mean, and truly meant it. Felt that way. That's what made it fun for. I mean, that was part made it fun for me too. I mean, it. Hell,
Yeah. I mean, that I think that's what it takes to ride bareback horses.
yeah.
Like, I mean, in my opinion, I was not good at bareback riding. Like, I don't remember I don't think I was ever 80 in the bareback riding. Like, I remember being 76 once or twice, 77 maybe, but I was never, anyway. What I think is like, you just got to, and my dad said it one night we were watching the NFR, and it was Wes, and because he's redheaded, and so like when his face gets red, and he was talking to me, he was like, you gotta, and he was talking about Wes in the chute, and he was using him as an example, on that night. And he was like, you got to go to a place where your mother doesn't recognize you
Yeah.
during that time. When you crawl in that chute, and I don't know what you just said kind of encompasses to me what I felt like my dad was trying to tell me that night. And I guess I felt like I could better get to the place I needed to get on a bronc than on a bareback horse. And I don't know. I have the utmost respect for the most respect for bareback riders. And I wish I could have. But when my dad did bronc riding most of his life, and I was never going to quit riding broncs, and I didn't want to do multi events.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. But I have the utmost respect for bareback because of what you just said.
Well, heck, I appreciate that. I'm with you. I mean, as far as I didn't ride broncs worth a dang, really, per se, but I got on enough that I couldn't be in the. I had to be two different people before I got on, or I just was. Like you say, I was dang sure more tried to make myself relaxed in the saddle bronc riding. If I was all intense, whatever, I didn't have very good results. As far as, I mean, just didn't. I had to calm down, which was kind of was easy. As far as the funny part is when I got on broncs and didn't get on a bareback before, I was all psyched up and tense and
Really?
And like I say, it didn't have very good results. Whereas if I got on a bareback horse and then bronc that same performance, I was gassed a little bit, and just and more like bronc riding needs to be. And then I mean, there's a lot you got to read and do and whatnot. Whereas bareback riding is more of just a punch for punch.
Yeah, they're all
faster,
loose-headed.
harder and faster. Yeah,
In the bareback.
yeah,
They're all
damn right.
loose-headed.
You're
So
damn right. You got a good rein.
yeah, that's it. That's
The measurement's right. Go to spurn.
yeah, I got on a bronc in Helotes, and Clint Cannon was there, and he was like, man, and Clint and Jacobs were standing there, and Clint gave me some advice, and Clint walked off, and Jacobs was like, yeah, but I think your rein was too short. And old Clint, all he has to give his horses is a fist every time.
Yeah,
It was funny. I'll never forget that when he was like, yeah, what do you give this horse? A fist every time. Crack it around that bareback rigging.
Yeah, absolutely. Them bronc riders, but they cheat though. They put things on their feet too. No, I'm just kidding. Evens it out.
That's true. That's true.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's just two different. Just like to me, it was like basketball and football, just two different things. Bronc riding and bareback riding. It was night and day as far as. I don't know what you felt like, but I mean, as far as like you say, mentally and
they're so
technique,
different.
I mean, there's nothing about them the same mentally or what do you call it?
I mean, the only
Physically.
common thing is there's a horse involved.
Yeah.
But that, I mean, it's crazy how different it is.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. If somebody wore like the meta glasses, like to show, it's just two complete, you'd be like,
Oh yeah,
you wouldn't even recognize them.
yeah.
But yeah. And then, hell, there's some people that can ride bareback horses for just as long as bronc riders. I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
How old was Bruce whenever he went to his last
I
NFR?
think he was like 110 or something. I mean, it is unbelievable. It was, and that tough booger. I don't remember what year it was, in the 90s, I guess, or when it late 90s, whatever. But of course, I didn't know this at the time. But after traveling with Royce, that he had a horse goes to flip on. I think it was something of Hank Franzen's, but he goes to get on, and the horse flips over on him and knocks his shoulder out of socket. And like they go to the next bird, like flips over on him and gets out of the neck rope or whatever. And anyhow, he ends up getting off in the chute, whatever, and they pull him out of there, and they go to the next guy or whatever, and then they come back to him, and he runs his hand, but his shoulder is, I mean, like way out, completely out, and he knew it there on the back of the chutes and whatever, but he had had shoulder surgeries, and once it came out, he knew it wasn't. I mean, just to put it back in was just going through the pain, just be torture. Anyhow, he got on that 10th round, and with his shoulder completely out on that horse, Hank Franzen. I think it was showing me the cards of Hank Franzen's big, strong bay horse. Borderline could have went in the eliminator pen
On his riding arm?
on his riding arm, and
Golly.
and I'm not sure how many points he had, but he's like 78 points.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 50 something years old at the NFR. Went through 10 head of horses, gets his shoulder dislocated, and then runs his hand back in. And
Golly. That's a gritty old man.
oh man, and like I said, him and Royce, they're like Gumby. I mean, you watch some old video of Bruce Road, unbelievably awesome. And I mean that Gumby in a good, I mean, as far as they were like Gumby is their ligaments, like not double jointed, but like Royce was flexible as can be. And like I say, he made it a point not to work out. I mean, and I mean, he could, I mean, damn near put his feet over his head. Well, he did. You can watch him ride, his little feet would become past his little ears and be straight legged and just, whop.
Yeah.
And
dang,
he iced every day when we rodeoed hard, inside and out. He damn sure plenty of ice, but stayed cool. But that was about it. He never did no nothing.
That's
just spurred.
How do you want to be remembered? I've been thinking about that question.
Oh heck, I hope when I'm done I get remembered as. Hell, I don't care about remembered as. I'd like to help as many people as I could be a cowboy. The guys that want. I love help, like that rodeo school. I mean, I truly enjoy helping younger fellers learn how to ride bucking horses or play with colts or make a drive or just being a cowboy. Just the stuff that I love, just because I know how much it has helped. I mean, how fun my life is, and if there's a young guy that wants to learn it, I dang sure enjoy it. Speaking of that, Dylan, I mean, hell, we have to give you Brittany's phone number. I ain't got a phone, but we'll swap. Don't let me get out of here without forgetting.
Yeah, I can get it to him. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Perfect. Might not be good advice, but it's advice. You can take whatever you want from it. It's kind of like old Tim Allen. That'll show up. Learn a lot from what I did by probably doing it completely different, but we'll have fun either way.
Can you hold your hand up to the camera? That you're one with the messed up finger.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
I straightened it out a bunch.
I feel like that'll be a good
thumbnail. I fought it for
thumbnail.
like 6 days, and I must have broke it up in the knuckle, and I'd straighten it back out and tape it to both of them, and I'd be doing something, whatever, and next thing you know, it would be flopped back over here, and I tortured myself for about a week, maybe 2 weeks, straightening it back out, and finally said piss on it, and that's where she landed.
Man, this has been fascinating. Thank you so much for making this happen.
I enjoy it. I
appreciate it.
Oh man, it's cool. Your deal. I don't, like I said, I ain't got a phone or whatever. I don't do much on the technology, a whole lot, but it's what you do is badass.
I appreciate
and
that.
And Cowboy channel. I mean, it's awesome.
Well, I think you and I have common goals. Like, I do want to grow the sport, and I want to be an ambassador for my faith. I want to be an ambassador for rodeo, and I don't know. The podcast, my brand is called Rodeo Time, and then I interview people. I do videos on what I'm interested in, and then I do interviews with people I'm interested in. And you are such an icon in the sport that it's been, one of the most requested podcasts. It was great whenever you and Will and Wes came on, but it was like, we also need more of Tom,
What's that idiot been doing?
No, I mean, and it's cool because I run in a lot of circles with cowpunchers, and you're spoke of with reverence in those circles also. And so, it's you lived or get to live the life that I think a lot of young cowboys want to. You got to be a rodeo cowboy, bareback rider, and cowpuncher, and grew up in Arizona. Now you're in Texas, and it's cool to watch, and it's cool to now hear your story.
Well, appreciate that. Heck, thank you. Thank you.
Bet.
I am. I'm lucky feller. That's for sure.
Well, I hear your family out there, so I want to be respectful of your time, but
you're good.
We'll do this again sometime. Maybe.
Yes, sir. I enjoyed it.
Here's some more.
Absolutely, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Hey, throw one more thing out there.
Yeah.
Just off subject, kind of, but while I got the microphone.
There you go.
Talking about rodeo, the sport is wanting to grow it. Now, this is just, I don't know at all what's going on with team deals or this and that, but one of the things that makes rodeo great, and this is my opinion, is the fact of entering gambling on your own deal. They have, I don't know, the Kid Rock deal, that sounds awesome. I don't know if they got signing guys on, but I know that they have the PBR team deal, whatever. And to me, that I mean, each for their own, whatever. But that's one of the things that makes rodeo so awesome to me is nobody owns you. You're still you're still a free cowboy. Do what you please and represent yourself as you please. I mean, that don't mean you got to be an idiot but you're supporting yourself. Yeah. You're just a cowboy saying, "Hey, I'm gonna beat you. I'm spurring a horse today," and I hope they don't lose that with rodeo. I want all the money in the world and the $1 million deal, but the team deal, boy, that just takes a little something. Hell, I just kind of throw that in your brain. I know you got anyhow. Just
no, you're right.
Throw that out there. I mean,
I think you're right. Like I think that a lot of those deals, and I don't know much about the PBR deal. I know the team deal for Kid Rock and Rodeo. Like that's it's to me it's a one-off. They're going to do that occasionally, but I don't know about the PBR deal. But I love the point you're making because that is kind of the spirit of rodeo.
Yeah,
it's like the drive of each individual.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, nothing against bull riding. I loved watch bull riding, especially, but I like rodeo, the whole thing, every event. I mean,
same.
Every bit of it. I mean, enjoy it truly.
Yeah.
I mean, and anyhow, just throwing that out there.
That's a hot take. I like that. That's super interesting. And it's good. It's good to hear someone like yourself who's such a part of rodeo history to say that. Especially coming through the 2000s and the Wolf Pack, and like to hear you talk about the passion that it takes for one individual and how that does kind of encompass the spirit of rodeo. That's a good point.
Yeah.
So.
No, I don't think I could have made some of the rides I made if I had a contract. I wouldn't have got on half of them. I mean, I'm crippled up on this and that. I mean, every excuse in the world, you're getting paid. I mean, that's
a good point.
When you know the bank, your ATM cards flashing, whatever, and you ain't got no money, you got a buck and that elbow, you put it out of your mind.
That's right. Man, that would take that away. Yeah.
Like Jason Jeter always blew my mind. Great bareback rider. But it always impressed me. I thought it was unbelievable. I could have never been that guy. I couldn't have got on the horses I did with the attitude I did. No, and I mean, he was loaded. He worked for his money.
Yeah.
But it just showed he had his job when he wasn't rodeoing was he would fly out wherever we were at, and he'd go to another airport, pick up some billionaires from China and Russia and something, and show them a good time to Dallas, show him around Dallas for a couple of days, and then he'd send him back to his dad's business. That was his job, was to show him a good time for a couple of days.
Yeah.
So he picked up, and he got paid well. I mean, he was his job. I mean, and he had other people that worked for him when he was gone, they picked people up, whatever, but he made buku bucks, and he rode unbelievable and spurred buckers. And I don't think I'd like to say I got on, but I just don't see me having that fire and that grit.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I had to feed them kids.
Yeah, you got to put the food on the table.
Yeah. There's a couple of times where I got out on the side of the interstate there in Arizona, or once for sure, with just my gear bag and headed for Wickenburg, thumbing it because I was dead broke, had been ineligible.
Really?
And we're going from Pueblo to San Juan Capistrano, and it was time for me to get out. I was broke and ineligible, and we got to where it was pulling me out.
And you made it there?
Pueblo was my last chance to win money.
But I'm saying hitchhiking.
Yeah, they had dropped me off there on the interstate on I-40. I was driving about 3 o'clock that morning, whatever, and pulled off of that exit where you go down to Wickiup, and then to Wickenburg, down in Phoenix, whatever, and pulled off, and Wes or Will or somebody hollered, I said, well, you guys got to drive. And grabbed my gear bag out of there, and I told them all goodbye, and took off. I was dead broke, and was out of rodeos, was ineligible, and time to go cut some cedar stays and start a few colts and get some money saved up for the next year.
Dang. That's wanting it.
Oh, yeah. Heck, absolutely. Absolutely. Them cedar stays will make you turn your toes out.
Turn your toes out.
The next time. Yeah.
That's funny.
I broke my arm. I had running a chainsaw, but I was able to get one arm, boy. I didn't cut my leg off a couple times doing it, but I run a chainsaw with my left arm after I shattered my right arm for a couple days, and I got 200 cut, but I got paid by my uncle there, Babbitt's. He was the manager there. So anyhow, anytime I got stays, the whole time I rodeoed, I could just show up with stays and he'd pay me for them, So up there and just drop them off, and he'd cut me a check. So anyhow, that was always one of my go-tos. And anyhow, I collected only 200. I only took in 200 stays that time, but
How much a stay?
Number ones, he wouldn't even get number ones. For everybody else, I'd get $1.50, and then for Vic, it was just $1. But they could be crooked and whatever. You know, he didn't want a dog leg, but you know, a good old bowed stay, tighten the fence up.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Well, cool deal. Well, thank you. How long have we been talking?
Almost 2 hours.
Nice. Cool. Well, you got anything, Donnie? Gotcha. Yeah, that was a great podcast.
Cool, thanks.
That was really good at stories. Yeah. Cool. Did we miss any big ones?
Boy, I was kind of, Brittany said something on the way down here, like, you know, your story is collected up. And I couldn't think of one story. I mean, I could not think of one damn story. And then I went to thinking about last night and all the stories that got brought up, a few stories. Anyhow, went to telling Cole Franks about his dad, some stories about his dad. And then, boy, I started remembering them. But we'll leave the Brett Frank stories for maybe another podcast.
Let Brett tell them.
Oh, it might be, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
No.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, good deal. Well, thanks so much, man. I appreciate you coming on. Everybody.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I really did. Thank you.
Y'all check out rodeotime.com, and I'm on to the next one. Pow, pow.
Hey, Bro Tater Chip, if you like getting swole-o-matic, then get yourself some Protein on mountainops.com. Hey, or if you just like being healthy, whether you're trying to bulk up, get healthy, have energy, go to mountainops.com and use code Kevin for 20% off. Rodeotime.com is the only website that should exist because it's the greatest apparel line that has ever existed. So go there now to get a t-shirt, a hoodie, a cap, a vest, whatever it is you need, go to rodeotime.com, old son.